In this video clip, I will explain patching and how AddX5 is able to protect data over relatively slow network connection speeds such as the internet and within the enterprise environment. I will also discuss the impact on local cache by using binary or delta block patching. I would like to start by explaining what patching is and how it fits into the AddX5 Professional disk-based solution. The first backup is always a full backup of the file or database. The data is compressed and transmitted to the storage platform with a copy of the backed up data potentially stored in local cache. When the next backup takes place, the database is compared to the local cache, with only the changes since the last backup transmitted to the storage platform. Once the backup has successfully been transmitted, the local cache is updated again. Using this technique, AddX5 Professional is able to back up data over any IP network or internet connection, with small patches enabling faster backups and shorter mean time to recovery in the event of a disaster. All this while keeping your data secure and encrypted. Take a look at this example. My company has a Microsoft Exchange email server, and I'm using Microsoft Outlook for my emails, calendaring, and contact information. Some of my emails have been archived off to a local PST file. They are stored locally and not on the Exchange server. I'm going to back them up with AddX5 Pro Server Edition. My archive file is in a folder on the root of the C drive. As you can see, it is 793 meg in size. First, let's back it up as it is. Using the selection pane in the AddX5 client, I'm going to select to include the folder in my backup selection. The green icon indicates that it is selected, and I'm going to run a backup. Open files can be backed up using VSS, so there is no need for me to close my email program. As this is the first time I'm backing up the file, a compressed full copy is sent to the storage platform. Now I'm going to add a few emails to the archive folder. This will only increase the size of the PST file by a few megabytes, but the file will have a new timestamp and size. Let's see what happens when I back it up now. A successful backup, and if we look closely at the log file, we can see that the archive file was patched by 2.6 meg. I have talked about the cache several times already in this clip. Let me explain in a bit more detail about its use. There are some configuration options available in the backup client to control and optimize disk usage as well as cache. In the backup application, open up the Options window and select Disk Usage. The default setting for the cache is 20 days. What this means is that any file in your selection that has changed in the last 20 days will be in the cache folder. It is a full compressed copy of the file from when it was last backed up, and after the default 20 days, it will be flushed from cache. Please note that only the latest version of the file is kept in cache, and not 20 copies of the file. If a file is cleared from the cache, or the patching is changed from binary to delta blocking, then the entire file will need to be backed up when a change is next made to that file. So the longer a file can be kept in cache, the more likely only a small patch will need to be sent to the storage platform. As keeping files in the cache may require extra free disk space, it is possible to move the temp, cache, logs, and database files to a different drive, although these files should always be located on the same volume. Let's compare the two patching techniques. Binary patching uses a compressed, unencrypted previous version of the file to do a comparison with the current file. Only change bits are extracted, delivering a very small patch from around 0.1% to 2% of the size. Although the patches are small, additional free space is required on the local disk. Around 50% of the size of the backup selection is required for caching. Delta blocking, on the other hand, creates a very small footprint file in cache and looks for changes in blocks. All changed blocks are then transmitted. Delta blocking uses minimal free disk space. Patches are larger than binary patches, but the patching process is faster. Delta block patches can be between 2% and 10% of the backup selection, depending on the data types. It is important to note that delta blocking can be enabled for specific file extensions, file sizes, or a combination of the two. This means that all files outside of this range will use the default binary patching technique. With the choice of patching techniques available in the ADDX 5 Server Edition, you can optimize your backups. Binary patching uses minimal bandwidth and is efficient at backing up large numbers of smaller files. Delta blocking is faster using fewer server resources. Delta block patching is the preferred method when backing up large databases.